Hey there, it's Sally here, and today I'm actually doing this video from back in the UK, which is obviously where I'm from. This video is going to be relating to injury and injury prevention and what we can do to try and work out what's going on with our bodies and maybe have a little clearer picture of where we can go forwards and also take some ownership and power back with what we can do. So I'm using this little tower block here as an example. When we are born, we're going to take this hypothetical picture that we are set up exactly how we should be. So our skeleton is balanced and stacked, our joints are nice and even on top of one another, and our bony alignment with our rib cage, pelvis and head are nicely stacked. When we have our joints and our skeleton nicely balanced and stacked on itself, we're going to then find that we have optimal tone in our muscles and our ligaments and joint capsules. And then that again will allow for good messages to run through within our nervous system. Now, as we then get older and go through our journey of life, we come along many little blips and bumps, which will be our injuries. Each time something happens, it leaves its mark on our system. So this is our original nicely stacked body. And let's say, for example, you might be in the school playground playing on the apparatus and you fall off and bang your head. So that is going to have a little change in your system here that will leave its mark. Now, whether you know or not, you then alter and compensate how you move. We still move well, we're still effective and efficient. Then maybe later on, you go into dance class and you might sprain your ankle. Oh, this will have another little effect on your system. Ankles commonly leave quite a mark on compensations throughout the body. And this is what we're looking at. So you can see here, my ankle sprains twisted my body a little bit, and I'm going to compensate how I move, but I'm still going to be effective in what I want to get done. So I'm still going to carry on going to class. Then maybe later on, I might re-sprain the same ankle. There we go, popping out, and I'm going to get another slight torsion and compensation in my body. I might then, later on, due to how I've been moving to get myself around these injuries, I might kick my leg up in class and I get a slight tear or pinching feeling in my hamstring. Again, I have rehab, I don't have rehab. Maybe I just continue, maybe I'm in a show and I've got to get back on stage. So more compensations start building and turning. We can at this point start to do our body check-ins and notice what's happening in my body. Can I feel these little twists and turns and changes and pulls and lines of tension within my system? Maybe we don't. And we continue on with our life, pushing forwards. I am invincible. And then maybe something bigger happens and we end up having to have surgery. So maybe you have surgery that's musculoskeletal. You might have some knee surgery like I did. You might even have your tonsils out, some teeth removed, anything surgical into the body. And this might be quite big and powerful within your system. So now, once again, the system twists and turns and compensates. Again, we might not notice. So it might be like, oh, I'm starting to get some neck tension in the mornings that I hadn't noticed before. And then one day you bend down to pick up your tap shoes, or you do a leap that you've done many times before in class, and boom. You've torn the front of your hip flexor, or you've blown your back or hurt your disc. So when eventually we have some of these injuries, they might be doing a very small innocuous movement. And it's like, I don't understand. I bent down to pick up my shoes and my back went. But as we can see through the history of what's been going on throughout your life, it wasn't really the bending down and picking up the shoes that was the problem. It was all these little compensations and twists and turns that have gone through your journey or your history journey. What I'm going to invite you to do now as a little bit of homework is to draw a body chart. So I've drawn one here. And I'm going to get you to think back in your timeline to all the injuries that you've had and then mark them on your body chart. So I've got here, I've got 2 ankle sprains. I've got a knee ligament injury here on this side of the body. I've got a broken wrist. And then I've also got here childhood asthma. So asthma can affect how we breathe, and that in turn can affect how the core activates. I'm then going to ask you to do a standing check-in, and this is guided with one of the other videos on the channel. So you're going to stand in, initially just where you are in space, so noting where are my feet, which way am I facing. Close your eyes, feel all the twists and turns and lines of tension within your body. And you can maybe do this again with your feet parallel and see what, if anything has changed, or if the degree of tension or pause within the system are greater. Once you've done that, I invite you to mark that also down on your body chart. So as an example here again, I've got some tension and pain in my big toe. I've got a tight hip here in flexion, or bending my hip. I notice that I often get neck pain and that my shoulder is a bit tighter on that side. So these might be things that you notice in your standing check-in. They also might be things that you notice generally as you go through class. Whenever I reach my arms up, I tend to notice, always get this blocking feeling in the left shoulder. Once you've noted this down, it's an exercise of observation, and it's your first step in really understanding what's going on in your body and where your blockages might be. Once you've marked them, you might see some correlations on your body chart as well. So, I had that ankle sprain, and on that side, I've got a stiff ankle, or I might have big toe pain. I might have had some plantar fascia issues as well. And that's the same side that I have a tight hip, or my hip pinches when I'm doing a retire or a grand battement. How interesting that then on the opposite side of my body, I'm starting to feel some shoulder tightness. So we can start to map over our injuries and areas where we feel things aren't moving as we would like to in our body. Make a note of these, and you can either then take them in, see a therapist and see how they can help you through, or as we go forward, I'll be creating some more videos helping you map out what's missing in your movement as well. And then you can create a really good map of what's going on and start to take some control and ownership of your own body, your own movement, and also work with preventing those injuries. Remember, prevention is better than a cure. It's far easier to prevent your injuries from happening than spending time rehabbing and sorting them out afterwards. I hope this has been informative for you, and don't forget, try and understand how your body is moving as much as possible. It's going to be incredibly powerful. Bye.